Brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. I'm so happy to be here. We are live today. My name is Angela Petrilli and I am here with my friends at Fishman for a live episode of the Riff Rundown. We are going to be learning a deep Led Zeppelin cut, Out on the Tiles from Zeppelin 3. Such a fun tune, really great one to play. Really looking forward to teaching you guys how to play this one today. So this one will be a ton of fun. So as always, you guys know I like to ask a question before we get started. So go ahead and let me know where you are tuning in from and your favorite Led Zeppelin deep cut. So where are you tuning in from and your favorite Led Zeppelin deep cut? That's what I want to know today. Put it in the comments. This is going to be a blast. Really looking forward to it. So get your guitars, electric guitars, standard tuning for this one. I'd say this one is geared towards my intermediates. And we're going to have a blast. So again, in the comments section, let me know where you are tuning in from and your favorite Led Zeppelin deep cut. And as always, if you guys are enjoying the lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps the cause. And if you want to check out all the cool Fishman gear that I'm using in these lessons, click the link in the video description below. All right, standard tune electric guitar. Here we go. Here's Out on the Tiles by Led Zeppelin. That's the tune. We're going to be learning that one today. Such a fun song. So again, question of the day. What's your favorite Led Zeppelin deep cut? So happy all of you are here. And yes, we are live today. So before we get started, let's see where everybody is tuning in from. I know it's been a minute. I have been touring quite a bit this year. So it's great to see everybody. All right. We got Preston from South Carolina. Welcome. We got Michael from Oregon. All right. Let's see. We got Sergio from Toronto, Canada. Welcome. We got Alex from Italy. All right. We got Finland in the house. Michigan. Simon from the UK. Loving it. All right. San Jose. Kirk, good to see you guys. Absolutely wonderful. We got Dan from Vermont. Lots of Michigan here today. I see quite a few Michigan folks. I love it. Thank you all for being here. Miami, Florida. Leonard, welcome. Oh, this is so great. And we got Germany here. We got Ohio, Cincinnati, Connecticut, Arkansas. So wonderful. Illinois, Pennsylvania, Slovenia. Oh my gosh. Ottawa, Canada, North Carolina. Thank you all so much for being here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So again, a really fun tune here geared towards the intermediates, I would say. So what we're going to look at is we're going to go ahead and look at the intro. I'm going to break it down into 3 different parts. I'm going to play it a little bit slower than I did at the top. So here it is, just the intro. And again, we're going to see this later on in the song too. So we're covering a lot of ground here. So here is the intro. Okay, so what's happening there? We're starting off with octaves. So what we have, I want you to place your first finger and your fourth finger. These are the 2 fingers we're going to use for these octaves. we're gonna get our first finger. I want you to place that on G on the 3rd fret of that low E string. So your G note should sound like that, okay? You're gonna get your pinky finger here, placing that on the 5th fret of the D string, D as in dog. Now, we wanna make sure they match because they're octaves after all. So make sure both of them sound the same. You know they are not octaves, like this. If they don't sound the same, they're not octaves. We want the same notes being played at the same time. Just like that. Okay, so those two are there. Now, we've got our 3rd finger and our 2nd finger here. They're not playing anything, but we're still gonna give them a job. What we're gonna do is this. And this is what my guitar teacher taught me with octaves when I was like really into Wes Montgomery, and still am, one of my favorite guitar players, right? So playing octaves in a really clean, beautiful way, this is a great technique to use. Our 2nd and 3rd fingers, what we're gonna do here is we are going to place them on top of the strings. You don't need to press anything. You just need to place them on top of the strings. What they are doing here is they are muting any of the extra nonsense we don't need when we're strumming. The 2nd and 3rd finger are going to go ahead and just dampen that, okay? So when we strum this, I want you to strum it like it's a chord, but I want you to keep your 2nd, 3rd finger on top of those strings. Don't press, okay? Just to act as buffers. Because see how we're getting that nice thuddiness, right? That nice rounded sound of playing, you know, like it sounds like a power chord. It's actually octaves. We're using these buffers. And we're letting those G notes really ring through. So again, strumming here, down, up, down, up. We're keeping it pretty simple. And end on the up. Strum. Just like that. Now, next, all we're gonna do is bring this back a half step, meaning our 1st finger and our 4th finger are playing the F sharps. 1st finger should be on the 2nd fret of the E string, and your 4th finger should be on the 4th fret of the D string. If they sound nice and pleasant together, they are octaves. Okay? Again, you'll know you're out if they sound a little wacky together. Okay, so we want to make sure those two are octaves. And we're gonna do the same thing, okay? Using the 2nd and 3rd finger as buffers, down, up, down, up. And let's go ahead and hear the F sharp. Just like that. Okay, so here we go, G to F sharp. Just like that. Let's do it again. And again. Last time. Now, what we're gonna do next is this really great riff with a power chord. It's gonna sound like this. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna use our 1st finger and our 3rd finger to do this chordal riff, okay? So our 1st finger is gonna be playing an A5 chord, an A power chord. So we want the open A string, and I want your 1st finger across the 2nd fret of the D string and the G string. So that right there is an E note and a G note respectively. We play the A string on top. That's what the chord should sound like, okay? So we're gonna strike downwards, and I only want you focusing on those 3 strings, okay? A string, D string, and G string, that's it. It's an A5 power chord after all, okay? Now with our 3rd finger, we're gonna do here, I want you to place it on the 4th fret of the E string, okay? So that right there, naturally, if I were to just play it as a G sharp. Now when you play it on top of that A chord, sounds kind of gross, right? However, a magical thing happens when we bend this down just a little bit. It's gonna change the pitch. It's gonna bring that G sharp up to A. So that is gonna sound like this. See how we raise the pitch just from that little tiny bend, okay? So it's a half step bend there. Now, if you notice here too, I'm using my 2nd finger. I'm placing my 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of that E string, okay? I'm helping bend with the 3rd finger, okay? So the 2nd and 3rd finger are bending this note. Now, this takes some finesse to really get this, and this is great ear training to make sure that that bend matches with that open A string. So, in context, we've got this. So, chord bend, chord bend, chord bend. Okay, we want to make sure this is very good ear training. You're going to know if you need to bend a little bit more or a little bit less. So, let's go ahead and do that a couple times here. And notice I'm doing 2 downward strokes here. See how that bend, it's really pleasant. Once we get it to that A note and you have the string and that note ringing together, it's quite nice. So let's go ahead here. And also too, we are live, folks. This is live Q&A. So if you guys have questions throughout the hour, please put them in the comment section and I will get to as many of those as possible, all right, during the hour. So don't be shy. It's a lot of nice folks here on the chat, so don't be shy. Everyone's really, really nice and supportive here. I love the community we've built here on the Riff Rundown, so don't be shy if you have a question. No question is stupid, okay? All questions are wonderful, so don't be shy, all right? So here we go from the top. Let's go ahead and include that G and F sharp and then into that A5 riff, okay? We're gonna do that riff 3 times, okay? So here we go. Let's do that again. Again. One more time. Okay. Let that sustain really ring through as well. It's a nice touch. Okay, so 3 times on that A5 riff. Now, we're gonna get into the verse. So that's our intro. We're gonna see it later on in the song. So again, we covered some ground here. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna play through the verse. I'm gonna play it just a little bit slower than I did at the top. All right, so it sounds like this. Now, seems like a lot of notes, but don't worry. I'm going to break it down part by part, all right? So the first part of verse 1, it's the same riff, okay? We're just repeating it twice. So what's great here is we have a nice little arpeggio, okay? It's going to be an F sharp major arpeggio. So here's how we're going to play it. So the first part, I'm going to break this down into 3 different sections, okay? So here's part 1. It's going to be that F sharp arpeggio. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I want you to get your second finger. Go ahead and place that on the 2nd fret of the E string. That's our F sharp. I want you to get your first finger. We're calling this A sharp. Okay, it's going to be at the 1st fret of the A string. Just like that. So you got your 1 and your 3, your F sharp and your A sharp. With your pinky, reach to play the C sharp located on the 4th fret of the A string. And for me, I like to drop or flatten that pinky out to then play the F sharp on the 4th fret of the D string. All right, so that's what's happening there. Let's go ahead and play those 4 notes. This is the first part. And yes, we are in standard tuning today. that again. And don't forget to alternate pick when you're playing this. What I mean by that is the first note, go ahead and strike the top of the string. For the next note, strike upward. Top of the string and bottom of the string. Just like that. Let's go ahead and do this a couple times here. It's a great warm-up song too. Okay, let me know how everybody's doing in the comments. Let's speed it up. And again, notice how you can't see my thumb here. Placing my thumb in the middle of the neck, okay, really helps those fingers stretch. So if you have your thumb up here, it might be difficult to make these, the reach, okay, with these fingers. So placing your thumb in the middle of the neck is going to help that stretch quite a bit. Just like that. Okay, so there's the first part. Now, part two sounds like this. Well, what's happening there? We have some fun hammer-ons and pull-offs. Okay, so the first ones we're going to do here. This is going to be repeated 3 times. Get your first finger here. Okay, the first fret of that D string. Okay, now we're going to do here. We're going to go ahead and hammer on to that E note. We're going to do that 3 times. Again, alternate picking here. Let's do that again. Pretty simple and straightforward. Let's do it again. Okay, the next 3 notes. Go back to that first fret of the D string. Reaching with our 4th finger on the 4th fret of the A string, C sharp, to the open A string. So let's go ahead and do part 2 of the verse. Nice and slowly here. Let's take our time. Can't play anything fast, we can't play slow. Let's do it again. Like that. Again. And last time. Let's combine it with part 1, shall we? Here we go. The F sharp arpeggio into part 2. Part 2. Again. And again. Let's do it a little faster. Like that. All right. Now, the next part, part 3, the verse goes like this. Okay. So what's happening there? Get your first finger. Go ahead and place that on the 2nd fret of that A string. That is our B note. And then we're going to play the open A string. We're going to do this 2 times. Pretty straightforward. From there, put your first finger back to the 2nd fret of the A string, B, bringing it up, okay, to that C, back to B, to the open A string, A. Okay, so just like that. Part 3 sounds like this. Let's do it together slowly here. Take your time. Again. just like that. So let's go ahead now, play the whole first verse, okay, at least this part that gets repeated. Let's play all three parts. Here we go. Part 2. Part 3. Again. And again. So just like that. So this whole section gets repeated twice. It sounds like this. I'm going to bring up the speed. Follow along if you can. Here we go. Repeat. So there it is. So that whole section gets repeated 2 times. Okay? So the final riff that we have in the verse sounds like this, okay? Almost the same. The ending is a little bit different. The beginning's the same, but the ending's a lot different. So here's the final part of the verse. So let me show you how to play that. So the F sharp arpeggio at the top, the same. Okay? Now for part 2, we don't have the open A string at the end. What's going to happen here, okay, between the 1st and 2nd fret of that D string, it's going to be, we're going to play that 3 times. Going back to the 1st fret, back to the 4th fret of the A string, C sharp. Okay, so part 2, that's it. So part 1 and part 2, the final part of the verse. That's it. Again. One more time. Okay. From there, from that C sharp, we're going to go back and forth from B to C sharp 3 times. Okay, so that is 2nd fret of the A string to 4th fret of the A string, B to C sharp. Now you can choose to use your 3rd finger to play the C sharp or your pinky finger. I kind of like the 4th finger a little bit better, but that's just me. Okay, from there we go to B, and we're going to play A this time on the 5th fret of the E string. Grab that with your 3rd finger. All right, so the whole thing sounds like this so far. Part 2. Part 3. Let's do that again. Again. would say for the A, use your fourth finger to hit that. Let's do that one more time. Okay, so we're going to add now a couple more parts to this. So we've played that A note on the 5th fret of the E string. Here is the final section. So after we play this A note, we're going to go back to the G sharp. Now we're going to do this 3 times. G sharp, A, G sharp, A, G sharp, A. For the final time, we're going to do G sharp, but an open A string. Okay, so that will look like this. That open A string gives you some time to land that F sharp 5 chord, okay? So here's that final riff with the G sharps and the A's. Open A string, okay, to the F sharp. All right, so what we're gonna do here, let's play through the whole final part of that verse together. So here we go, starting with the F sharp arpeggio. Let's do that again. Final part, we're going to go between F sharp 5 and E5. Okay, so F sharp 5, how we play this, first finger, go ahead and lay it across all 6 strings. Okay, we're not going to use it all, but go ahead and do that. Okay, 2nd fret, all the strings. We're going to get our 3rd finger here, placing that on the C sharp. Okay, that's the 5, which is on the 4th fret of the A string. And the final F sharp, we're going to play with our 4th finger on the 4th fret of the D string. Only play those 3 strings. Only play the strings that your fingers are on. From there, we're going to go to an E5. However, we're going to play it like this. I want you to just bring that 1st finger down, okay? 1st finger is playing the 2nd fret of the A string B and the 2nd fret of the D string E. E is an elephant. What you're going to do here is you're going to play the open E string and just play those 3 notes, okay? We're going to do that. F sharp, E, F sharp, E, F sharp. Okay, so just like that. Now, let's go ahead and start to give it context from the top of that final riff. So that is verse 1 right there. Verse 2, exactly the same. So we're going to do here, to give it context, go ahead and play through verse 1 and verse 2. I'll call them out, and then we'll go ahead and do some questions. All right, so if you guys have questions, put them in the comment section. And again, question of the day, what's your favorite Led Zeppelin deep cut? And as always, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps the cause. It helps get the word out. It's a wonderful thing. And if you're loving the Fishman pickups and all the Fishman gear that I'm using in these lessons, go ahead and click the link in the video description below. I left it there for you. And what I'm going to do here too, I released 2 EPs within the last year. I got a link right there. So I got vinyl for the voices, and then Live at Norman's Rare Guitars I released about a month ago is on digital. So you can go ahead and check that out too. So the link is there. Would appreciate the support. Would appreciate it. All right, so here we go from the top of verse 1. Here we go. I'm gonna play it a little slower. Follow along. Repeat that. Final riff. Verse 2. So that's what's happening there. That's the hardest part of the song. We got through it. That's the hardest part, all right? So to give it context, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna play the intro along with the verse, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take questions, and then we'll get into that chorus. So here we go, intro. Verse 1. Right into verse 2. Okay, so that's what's happening there. So that is our verse 1 and verse 2. Going into that chorus. So what I'm going to do here, I'll take a minute or two for those of you who have questions so far. And as always, if you guys are enjoying the lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help the cause and get the word out and helps with all the algorithm. And the like button thing helps too. That's what they tell me. The thumbs up thing. So if you haven't done that already, I'd appreciate that too. All right. So let's see. Let's go through some of these questions here. Someone is asking about strings. So this is just my preference. I'm a D'Addario artist, I love their strings, been using them for years. I have the NYXL, that's what I have on my electric. 10 to 46 is what I like. So those are the lights. That's what I like to use, and that's what I'm using here. And they last a really long time, which is great. So that's what I have here. That's what I have here. All right, thanks everybody for the thumbs ups. Appreciate it. Thank you all very, very much. Happy all of you are here today. Let's see, what are some other Zeppelin deep cuts? The Ocean, 10 Years Gone. How Many More Times, Bring It On Home. Those are all solid, Nick. Thanks for those. Those are great. Some of my favorites too. Those are wonderful. Those are wonderful. All right. So I'll give you guys a second to go ahead and ask those questions here. Again, we are learning Out on the Tiles today from Zeppelin 3. Such a fun tune. Such a fun tune. All right, so that is good stuff. I'll let those questions come in. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get into the chorus. So the chorus here, we're going in between two chords, an E5 and an A5. All right, so that's gonna sound like this at speed. see that intro riff again in there, which I think is really cool. All right, so that's what's happening there. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about how to play this. Again, we're going back and forth between these two chords. So the E5 here, we're gonna do first finger, third finger, fourth finger. First finger, placing that on the E note, 7th fret of the A string. That's what it should sound like, okay? We're gonna get our third finger here, placing that, okay, on the 9th fret of the D string. That is going to be our B note, B as in boy. And then finally, our next E, which is going to be on the 9th fret of the G string. That's what the chord should sound like. It's an E5, an E and a B. Now, what you can do here is up, down, up, down. Okay, we're playing that E note by itself 4 times. And then strum the chord. And then hitting that E note again 2 times. Now sometimes I even hit the low E string. You could do that too. They're both E's anyway. Just like that. From there, we're going to go to the A5. We're only going to use one finger to play this, placing that first finger across the 2nd fret, okay, of the D string and the G string, and the open A string. We're still using that same kind of strumming pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the A string, striking the A5 chord, the open A string, the E note, and the other A note. Strike it once, okay, and then hitting the A string twice. Okay, so that sounds like this. Okay, and that gets repeated 2 times. So, and then after that, we go to the E5 chord once. So that sounds like this. A5, A5, E5. Without the commentary. Here it is a little faster. Like that. From there, we're going to go back to that A5 riff. This time, we're playing it 4 times. Okay? So in context, here's what that sounds like from the top of the chorus. Riff. From there, we repeat the E's and the A's again. The A5 riff, we're repeating it 4 times after that. Okay, so that's what's happening there. So what I'll do here is I'll play through a verse and then going into beginning part of a chorus, okay? And again, if you haven't already, click that thumbs up button, folks. Helps the cause. All right, here we go. From a verse. We'll call it verse 2. Into the chorus. A5 riff. repeated. Okay, got the chorus, A5 riff 4 times. Chorus, A5 riff 4 times. From there, we're going to go into that G to F sharp octave once. Into the A5 riff 4 times. You guessed it. After that, G to F sharp octave once. Going into verse 3, however, quick little change. The A5 chord riff happens 3 times as we go into verse 3. Okay, so all of that sounds like this, the entire chorus. Here we go. And I'll play it a little slower. Octaves, riff, octaves, riff 3 times, then we go into verse 3 and verse 4. Pretty cool, right? So verse 3 and verse 4, guess what? Same as verse 1 and verse 2. Exactly the same. Okay, so we do that again. Right into verse 4. And guess what? Into chorus. A5 riff. Back to those E5s and A5s. Octaves. Octaves. From there we go into the outro. All right, so I think this is a great time here to go ahead and take some questions. Go ahead and put them in the comment section. Again, if you're enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Absolutely helps the cause. And if you want to check out all the cool fisherman gear that I use in these lessons, click the link in the video description below. And if you'd like to check out my new EP, Live at Norm's Rare Guitars, and get my EP, The Voices, on vinyl, I left the link right there. And yeah, it's good stuff. And if you watch this live stream, let me know in the order form that you watch the riff rundown, and I'll throw in a free sticker. How's that? I'll throw in a free sticker if you put it in the comments, and if you buy a vinyl. So put that in the comment section. Good stuff. All right, so someone is asking, what does my shirt say? I went to Chicago Music Exchange when I was on tour with Zeppelin, and I got a shirt there. Really awesome spot. So if you guys haven't been to Chicago Music Exchange, it was awesome. It was awesome, and talk about really, 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 really nice people. So it was a really great spot, and highly encourage all of you, if you're in Chicago, go and say hello to them. Just really nice people, and talk about awesome guitars. So it was a great little stop off before I went to went to play with Zepparella. We played at the City Winery in Chicago, and it was absolutely wonderful. So it was good stuff. Yes, and I saw people were mentioning that too. I will be sitting in for my dear friend Gretchen Menn, who is the guitar player in Zepparella. In April, there will be some East Coast shows. So you can go to my website to check out when those will be. We'll be playing in Cape Cod, New Hampshire, New York, and Philadelphia. So if you live in any of those places or have friends who do, I have the honor of sitting in with Zepparella on some of those shows. So be sure to go to their website to check out the ticket links and all that good stuff. And you can find it on mine too, AngelPetrillimusic.com. So it is great, and it's been such an honor to sit in for a dear friend and play some of my favorite music. This one will be playing too, so if you come to those shows, this one will absolutely be in the set list. So it's a really fun one to play. Feels like you're doing cartwheels. I don't know, for some reason when I play the song, it feels like cartwheels. It's good stuff. Yeah. All right. So good stuff. So let's see here. Again, any questions you guys have? This is a live Q&A. I haven't been live very often this year because I've been touring, but man, would I love to answer some questions. So please put them in the comments below. All right, let's see. Bill, thanks for your support and grabbing an EP. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody. How long have I been playing guitar? Over 20 years. I've been playing a long time. I've been playing since I was a little kid. I've been playing a long time. I still love it dearly every day. All right, so let's see. Ooh, this is a good question. For the fret hand, muting the octave strings. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to answer this question. I think what you're saying is, how do we mute the strings that we're not playing, right? So for that G to F sharp, I'm using my second and third finger. I'm just laying them on top of the strings. I am not pressing, because then it's gonna sound like garbage. So by muting with these two fingers here, we can really highlight that G note and the F sharp notes that we're playing. And we can still strum, but still highlight the string. So I believe that was your question. I hope I answered it. I hope I answered it well enough for you. Thank you for that question. All right, so, all right, let's see. When will I be back at the Mint in Los Angeles? David, hopefully soon, probably in the summer, I would say. I will be going to Nashville in June. So folks who are in Nashville, I will be announcing those dates very soon. So if you are in the Nashville area, I will be there the last weekend in June. So keep an eye out for when I announce the venues. Two of my favorite venues to play in Nashville. All right. Adrian is asking, what is your favorite venue to play? I'll name a couple. I played at the Paramount Theater in Austin, which was absolutely amazing. With my previous band, Roses and Cigarettes, we had just a lovely, lovely time there. Another favorite place that I played was the Do-Si-Do in Houston, Texas. It was sonically one of the most incredible places I've played. It sounded so good, and just talk about wonderful, wonderful people who run that place. So shout out to those guys at the Do-Si-Do, the barn in Houston, Texas. That was absolutely incredible. And the Mint here in Los Angeles, that's like home to me. So that's another favorite place of mine that I've played. So yeah, it's great stuff. I get to do some cool things. It's really wonderful. So yeah, that brought back some good memories. So thank you for that question, Adrian. That's lovely. Good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead here. Let's finish up the song, shall we? Got 10 more minutes. This flew by. Again, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps the cause. If you want to buy the voices on vinyl, I'm going to put the link here. Let me know in the comments when you purchase the vinyl. Let me know that you watched the riff rundown, and I will throw in a free sticker in your order. So be sure to do that. And we're really proud of this album. It turned out great. Very, very thankful. Thankful to be able to record it and just make a fun album. It was awesome. All right, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at that outro. So the outro here, 3 chords. We have an E5, a G5, and an A5. I will also give you another option that you can add on to this when I play it live. I like to add this little thing. Again, it's optional. I'm not sure if Jimmy did it, but I think it sounds really cool. So I'll throw it in. If you think it's cool, use it. You know, if you want to keep it to the power chords, totally cool. All right, so what we're doing here is the outro. So the outro sounds like this. I'm going to play it to speed. This literally happens for like 2 minutes in the song. It's a very, very, very long outro. So what we're doing here, okay, first finger, third finger, fourth finger, we're going to start again with that E5 power chord, okay? So by now we know how to play this. We've played it a couple times already in this song. All right, so I do a down, down, up strum on this. Okay, just like that. On that upstroke, see how the sustain, see how it's still ringing? Keep that power, right? Because we still have gas in the tank from that upstrum. Slide it up to the G5. So your first finger should be on the 10th fret of the A string, that's your G, okay? Your third finger is on the 12th fret of the D string, which is your D note, okay? And then your fourth finger is on the 12th fret of the G string, which is G. So we've got this. And we're going to repeat that again. And then we're going to repeat it again. So that happens 3 times. From there, we're going to go to the E5 to an A5. We're playing it all the way up here, 12th fret and 14th fret. So first finger, okay, 12th fret of the A string, A. We then have our third finger on the 14th fret of the D string. That's going to be your E note. And then your pinky finger on A, 14th fret of the G string. Okay, so just like that. So we've got... resolve it back to G5 after that. So that will sound like this. And then just kind of slide it back. Okay? So here we go. G, E, G, E, G, E, A, G. Again. E, G, E, G, E, G, E, A, G without the commentary. So these are all the power chords, the E5, the G5, the A5, all right? So what I do when I play this, because this is a long outro, to change it slightly, okay? We're still playing the notes that are in the E5 chord, but I'm adding the third. So then I'm creating these major. I'm not sure if Jimmy did this, but playing it this way live towards the end of the outro, I think it kind of sounds cool, and I'll even put a bit of phase on this. I think it kind of sounds nice live. I'm sure there's a video on YouTube somewhere of me when I sat in with Zeppelin playing this, and you can hear when I put on the phase. So, kind of neat. Anyway, so this is optional. What you can do here is create, now instead of the 5 chord, you make this a major. So you would make your third finger, okay, so for this E, we're turning that E5 into an E major. Okay, so what we would do here is this. Your third finger is now playing the 9th fret of the D string, G string, and the B string, B as in boy. Okay, so that E, G sharp, and B, we're playing all of those notes here. So just like that. Same strumming pattern, but now we're making those 5 major chords. We're just adding another note into that harmony, okay? So that's something you can do here. I will play it in context so you can see how it just kind of sounds neat. Again, totally optional, but here we go. Here it is with the majors. So you can choose to do that too. Kind of cool, I think. So that's the tune, folks. It's a really fun one to play. So this was Out in the Tiles on Zeppelin 3 by Led Zeppelin. Super, super fun tune. Really fun to play. I'm going to go ahead and play through, I'll abridge the parts, but I'll call them out, and then with the time that we have left, I will answer some questions. So put in those questions now. I will play through the abridged version of this tune. And again, thank you all so much for being here. It's lovely to be live. I've been so busy with touring and shows and all that stuff, so it's really lovely to check in with all of you and do one of these live. So here we go. From the top, intro. I'm just going to do one verse. And this is me just keeping time. Into the chorus. Outro. Optional major chord. They don't do that at the end, but I love a great E major chord. All right, so that's what's happening there, folks. That is the entire song. So we've got a couple minutes left. I would love to answer some questions. Again, I want to thank the folks at Fishman for helping me run these week after week. I want to thank all of you so much. This is just so much fun. Ooh, War Pigs. Angela, can you do a War Pigs lesson? That is one I've had on the list. It's definitely on the list. It's one of my favorite songs. I think that's such a cool song. All right, Sean, I will think about it. I will think about it. Very cool tune. Very cool tune. All right, so let's see. Yes, thank you all so much for being here. This is great. Oh, this is great. Thank you all very, very much. All right, oh, that is awesome. It's great seeing you and hearing you play and teach. New follower and fan here from Miami. I learned from you and recorded Take It Easy. Took me a while, but wanted to give it my best. Awesome. I hope that lesson was helpful for you. That was such a fun lesson. I hope it helped. Sounds like it did. Awesome. Keep up the great work. Wonderful, wonderful. New fan from Miami. Thank you very, very much. Glad to hear that lesson helped you. It's a great song to play. It's so, so fun. Nick, great question. What guitars do you use with Zeppelin? So I have a Les Paul Custom Shop 59 reissue that I use. And then for When the Levee Breaks, I have it in that open F tuning. I use my American Standard Telecaster for that because I know Jimmy played a Telecaster in the band too. So I figured that'd be pretty cool. And that's what I use. So those two guitars. And as far as all of I have a gear rundown on my Instagram channel and on my Facebook page. You can see photos of all the gear I used when I sit in with Zeppelin so you can see all of that. But it's a fun rig. It sounds huge. It's great. It's so fun. So fun. All right. Very cool. Well, guys, this is all right. I will take this question. What's the hardest part of learning the songs? And playing with Zeppelin? I will tell you what, Jeffrey, this is a wonderful question. The hardest part of learning the songs for me, and it's something that I tell all of you too, how I was able to really learn these songs in a pretty quick period of time is through repetition, okay? Well-intentioned practice, and trying not to do too much in one day. So I would look at, say, this one, for example. So Out on the Tiles, I would listen to it quite a bit. So I would have it, whether I'm in my car or I'm, doing errands and stuff, I would have that song on repeat. So through repetition, listening to the song, hearing the different nuances, okay, and how he bends this and how he does this, and getting that in my head. Then from there, I would break it up into chunks, just like I do on these riff rundowns here. So I would go and I'd be like, all right, Angela, I'm just gonna look at the intro and the verse. And I would break down those two sections. Okay, and once they felt really good, I would play them through slowly. And I have a metronome. I love to practice with a metronome. So I would practice it very, very slowly and have that good, again, well-intentioned practice going through, repeating, taking it slow. Once it felt comfortable, I would bump up the speed until I was at the full speed. Then from there, I would go and look at another section and then another section. So really taking my time, repeating a lot, and for me, that's what really helps. Having, again, a good sense of time, keeping you accountable like a metronome, really helps when I learn this stuff. And yeah, there's a lot that goes on in the learning song, but those are really the big parts here. And as far as playing with the band, talk about a band that is so incredibly professional and awesome, and that so deeply loves and celebrates the music of Led Zeppelin. It was such a joy. If you have not seen this band live, be sure to follow them and check them out when they are playing in a town near you. I mean, just talk about pros who really do justice to these songs. It's just such an honor to sit in and to fill in for a dear friend and to play with some really incredibly talented musicians. It is just such a gift, and I just honored, just absolutely honored. So thank you, Nick, and I would and Jeffrey for the questions. When you are learning songs, slow and steady wins the race. Take your time. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, great questions, folks. Really happy to be live. It's just great to check in and all of that good stuff. I won't be live next week. I'll be gigging next week, but I will be back live very soon. And thank you all very much. Again, I love how kind everyone is on the chat. I love how wonderful you guys are to each other. We've built a really beautiful community here. Thank you all for being so kind and supportive of one another. We're all in different parts of our guitar playing journeys. We're all students. I will be a perpetual student too, and that's just so the place to be. So let's celebrate us all being students and of this beautiful instrument. It's just such a blast. So I'm just rambling now. This is just so much fun. So anyhow, as always, wishing you so much success in your musical journeys. Again, if you haven't checked out the voices, I'll leave a link again. If you buy a vinyl, put it in the comments that you watch the riff rundown and I'll throw in a free sticker. As always, wishing you so much success in your musical journeys. Everybody play a lot of music. I hope you had fun with this one today. I sure had a blast teaching it. Everybody take good care, have a ton of fun, and I will see you very